Simon, Coherlock, Mayor, public representatives, ladies and gentlemen. It's tricky enough to be asked to be found to be a guest speaker at the unveiling of something you've never seen. And we're coming along this morning like yourselves, and it's unveiled. And you get a quick look at it and you see just this magnificent piece of sculpture and wonder in the name of God how anybody could do it. And there's lots of talk here about, you know, legends and powerful people and superstars of what they do, but Barry Rafter there has produced something that's hard to imagine how it could be done really. I just had a quick brief word with Barry there as he came in, never having met him before. He said he thought this day would never come, and he wished to God it had come long ago, because it was just painstaking work for 2 years. And it's just a magnificent tribute to himself, first of all, I think, you know, because it's just a fantastic piece of work and a real outstanding tribute, I think, to Kilkenny hurling. Not to any one person, not to anybody in particular, just to Kilkenny hurling and to everybody involved in the city and in the county. It's for certain, I suppose, that as we've an awful lot to be proud of, with so much that our city and our county has to offer. Our history, our culture, our heritage, magnificent city, county, the River Nore defining the place. You know, it's a magnet for tourists, both nationally and internationally. And, you know, what we have to offer from the point of view of hotels, pubs, restaurants, everything else. And the constant striving, I think, for improvement and excellence that goes on in our city and our county is magnificent in all the various fields. And it's for certain that when people talk about Kilkenny or mention Kilkenny, hurling is mentioned very, very quickly, that's for certain. But that's not just something that's happened recently, that is something that has always happened. And we have a magnificent tradition here in Kilkenny that has spanned the generations. And this magnificent sculpture here is a tribute to all the various people over the years who have done so much to develop the game of hurling in our county. I always think first and foremost of all the volunteers throughout the county and all the clubs who just devote their lives really to promoting the game, to developing the game, and to inspiring the young kids in the county, both boys and girls, just to play the game, to enjoy the game, to learn the skills of the game, and to get to love the game. And you know, when people talk about Kilkenny and the success and everything else, that's very, very often overlooked. That a huge element in the whole thing is the actual love of the game and the passion they have for the game. And that's as a result of so many people who are never spoken about and unheralded and everything else, just inspiring those young children to go on. And you know, and people often talk about the Kilkenny seniors over the past number of years and what kind of keeps them going and how they just keep doing this and whatever. But the reality is, the very basis of the reason why they do it is because they actually love the game. And it's that kind of a game, and that's what keeps the whole thing going. I think we all think of the players, of course we do, and the players are fundamental and absolutely everything to this. But I always think of all of the other people involved, people who would love to have been players and great players and have the opportunity to play. But they're the people who are keeping their clubs going as well, the administrators, the officers, the volunteers, the coaches, the people cutting pitches, all of those people contribute in such a way to what Kilkenny hurling is today. And, you know, we should never forget those people. Of course, the players are essentially the people on the pitch to going out and doing everything. And what they have contributed, not just over the past, you know, whatever number of years, but over all of the years, over all the generations. We've always had players who would live and will always be spoken about as the greats of the game. I think, and Mary Hilda mentioned in her speech there about teamwork, about the players, the real team players, and you know, certain players will always be lauded, but every player who ever wore that black and amber jersey or tugged out any grade for his county, I think this is a testament to what they have contributed to Kilkenny. I suppose it's a small bit, I think as well, maybe, I don't know what the real word is, it's not even ironic, strange, disappointing maybe, that we're here this morning celebrating Kilkenny hurling with disappointment after last night our under-21s were beaten by Westmeath in the Leinster Championship. And that's disappointing. But it's also a stark and a timely reminder to all of us that we should never take anything for granted. It's not just something that happens easily or will continue to happen. We will have setbacks along the way, and last night is a setback. But I think we should remember that the players who went out and played last night and the people who were involved in the team, they're the ones who were most disappointed of all. And they're the ones who had, worked very, very hard and certainly went up with the best intentions of going out, and they gave it all, of course they did, and they're hugely disappointed. And we should support those players now and those people as well, and not knock them. And I think that's what has defined us as a county as well. It's how we react to setbacks. And that's one of the great things about sport. It's not just plain sailing, it's not just go out and winning doesn't come easily. Setbacks and challenges along the way. And I think that's what also defines us very, very much as sports people. And that's what sport is about. Responding to those setbacks, responding to those challenges. And now we have a situation where we need to look at ourselves again and say, look at that's a disappointment last night. Now we'll go on and we'll give further reason why we should have a sculpture such as this in our county, because it's a constant pursuit of excellence and striving for excellence, and that's what we must continue to do. And we must ensure that the reason why this magnificent piece of work is here, and it's right that it is here, and it's going to be a fantastic reminder to everybody what Kilkenny is all about. As well as everything else it's about, it's hugely about hurling, and it's a love and a passion we all have for the game. I think this is something, it's magnificent. It's going to stand the test of time for certain. It's going to be there for the generations to come. I think the challenge for all of us, and everybody here is a huge part of it. And when I think of the Kilkenny hurling, I think of the supporters, the people who invest their time and their energy in supporting the team. And I always feel, and this is important to me as well, as the manager of the Kilkenny hurling team, I always feel that the players and every one of us concerned are duty bound to at all times ensure that every time we're on the field that we're giving 100%. Because I think that's what supporters are entitled to. We can't pick and choose when we decide to say, right, today we give it everything. We always give it everything. And that's one of the real big reasons why we have had, very, very decent success over the last number of years. I do think as well that the challenge for every one of us is to ensure that as well as this monument being there in generations to come, and everyone involved in the promotion, development, and the pursuit of excellence in the game of hurling in the county continue to challenge themselves to ensure that this monument will continue to be a testament to what we will achieve in the future and in the generations to come as well. So it's a wonderful day, a wonderful morning for everybody involved in Kilkenny hurling, people who are behind us, the inspiration that provided for it, Barney, what you have achieved again, magnificent, and everybody else. And obviously it's going to be a further element in the attraction that Kilkenny has as a tourist venue for everybody. So it's been a pleasure for me to be involved in this. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity, and well done to everybody concerned.